Tamara Hunter, and today is number 55 of 365 Days of Awesome. Celebrate success through service. And as promised, I have my first service hero duo here. And I'm so excited to present to you all Noah and Babette St. John. Now, welcome, both of you. Yes, the two of you. Now, let me tell you a little bit about these guys because they are incredible. I met them recently at Kiss the Monkeys, the summit. We had a summit, and then we had a champagne gala. And they were dressed up to the nines. They looked awesome. And I had an opportunity to visit with them. And in fact, I even said something, and we'll talk about this, that I was called on it, and it was really good because we had a great discussion in regards to it. But you have in front of you right now the only author that has ever been featured, and I'm going to even read this out: Hay House, Harper Collins, Simon & Schuster, Mid-Valley, Nightingale, Conant. Yes. Okay. Conan. There we go. And Chicken Soup for the Soul. And featured regularly on all the major stations: NBC, CBS, ABC. The Huffington Post seats these individuals out. And why? Because have you ever had in your mind where you feel like, man, my head is just full of stuff, and could it ever have been trash? I mean, just stuff, right? Okay, that's enough. I'm gonna now bring you guys on to talk instead of just being gorgeous and smiling. I want to hear from both of you, because the reason I wanted you both on is because of the fact that Noah is a speaker. You probably even recognize him. I mean, I certainly did. I've seen him a number of times. And his wife works alongside him. I just think that is service extraordinaire, working together to serve entrepreneurs, to help them, but then the two of them teaming and serving each other to serve others. I just thought it was beautiful. So that's why I was like, okay, we got to do this. So welcome. Welcome, both of you. I'd love to hear.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much, Tamara. Great to be here and great to see everybody.
Good. I would love to hear, I know that we have a lot of things that we can talk about, but I would love to hear about how did it all start that the two of you work so beautifully together as a team?
Well, I started my company, SuccessClinic.com, in my college dorm room in 1997 with $800 to my name and a book on how to do HTML. So I've been doing this for more than 20 years now. And I just had a vision, a desire to help people all around the world, but I didn't have any idea how to run a business. I had no business experience, no marketing skills. I didn't know how to sell anything. I didn't know anything about being an author or speaker. I knew nothing. I just had a dream, a vision. So for those folks watching, if you ever have a dream, have you ever had like a dream, a vision of wanting to help people, wanting to have that impact and transform lives all around the world, but you just don't know how to do it? Well, that was me. I didn't know what to do, but I said, I've got to just start. I've got to take action. And I am a great example of the fact that if you just keep taking action one step at a time, even if you don't really know what you're doing, at least when you start out, really great things can happen, but you've got to keep taking that action. And so I just had these epiphanies that changed my life back in 1997. And I decided to write a book, and it was called Permission to Succeed. That was the title of my very first book, written more than 20 years ago. And I self-published that book. This was long before Kindle and print on demand and all that stuff we have today. So I literally went down to my local print shop and printed the ugliest book in history. It's the ugliest thing you ever saw, because I'm like, I don't know what to do. And I just, if you take a book and take it off your printer, that's what it looked like. It was 8.5 by 11, and it was the ugliest thing you ever saw. But the words inside it seemed to work, because when I put up a website and I started to sell it to people all around the world, people got transformed. They transformed their lives. And I started to get all these stories from people all around the world who changed their lives. They started to double or triple their income. They started to lose weight, find love, grow their business. I mean, just amazing stories. Kids, you know, using my work, were getting better grades. We had veterans who were, you know, struggling with PTSD, and just amazing stories like that. So back in 1998, I met Jack Canfield, who, of course, we all know from Chicken Soup for the Soul. And I met him at an awards ceremony. I showed him my book, The Ugliest Book in History. And I said, Mr. Canfield, you know, I'm a big fan. And, you know, I was hoping you could take a look at my book. Well, he was very gracious. And I'll always be super grateful to Jack, because he, you know, looked at my book, and I already had lots of endorsements, success stories, as I mentioned, you know, from around the world. He took a look at it, looked at it for about 30 seconds and said, yeah, this looks great. I'll send this to my publisher. And I mean, I almost fainted dead away, but he did. He was good to his word. 8 weeks later, the Chicken Soup people called me. They offered me my first book publishing contract. So that's how it all started way back, you know, more than 20 years ago. And then the problem was I still didn't know how to make any money. And so I had this, I had a book, yay, but now what do I do? You know, so I'm like, I still don't know what the heck I'm doing. So for the first 10 years, I didn't have a mentor. I really didn't have any online products. I just had like a book and some other physical products like, you know, CDs and stuff. But I really didn't know how to put up an online store. So then I ended up $40,000 in debt, working out of my parents' basement, because I was just trying all these different things, listening to a lot of bad advice. And, you know, it ended up $40,000 in debt. And so what happened was I started learning how to create an online store. And that worked really well. And then I said, you know, I got to get out of my parents' basement. This is really sucky. I don't like this. And so I said, I was talking to a friend of mine who happens to live in Ohio. Now, I had once heard of Ohio. And I said, and he said, why don't you move here? It'll be, and this is a direct quote, it'll be fun. And I said, let's see, Ohio, fun. I'm not getting this. Ohio, fun. How's that work? But something inside of me, this is the point of the story, something inside of me, which didn't make any sense up here, but inside of me here said, go, move to Ohio. And I'm going, what? That doesn't make any sense. Who is this? What is that? Great choice. But I just kept listening to that voice, and I drove 1,000 miles from Maine to Ohio. I'd driven to California before, but anyway, Maine to Ohio. And I landed here, and I said, what the heck am I doing here? This doesn't make any sense. What are you doing to me, God? What are you doing? Why is this happening? And then 3 weeks later, this friend of mine who convinced me to move to Ohio introduced me to a friend of his, and that friend introduced me to this gorgeous blonde named Babette. And I immediately was smitten, and she swept me off my feet. And then, of course, on our first date, I took her dancing.
Swept me off my feet.
Very clever. Guys, if you're looking for a girl, take her dancing. There's nothing more impressive to the girl than the guy who knows how to dance. So I can give you dance lessons or whatever, but just go take dance lessons, take the girl, and you will succeed, I bet you. Anyway, so that's how it all started. And then she had her own businesses before, so she's already a successful entrepreneur. And I said, you know, can you help me do this? And of course, she jumped right in with both feet. And she's so great with our customers, people. Oh, yeah. Well, of course, you know, you met her. Everybody just falls in love with her.
Yeah, love her. 5 seconds. Yeah, yeah.
I love seeing this, Tamara. This is one of my favorite things when because you know I have the opportunity, the privilege of speaking and at you know conferences, events, you know, network marketing companies, real estate companies, entrepreneurial conferences, and so forth. You know, all around the country and around the world. What I love happening is, or what I love to see happen is when I'm there speaking and then we're networking with people, people will just go up to her. Mm-hmm. I mean, total strangers will go up to her and say, oh my God, you are so beautiful. I don't know what it is about you, but there's something about you. And I'm like, hey, I write the books. What about me? what's I just spoke here. What's the deal? What am I, chopped liver? And they're like, oh yeah, whatever. So Babette, blah, blah, blah. I'm going, hey. But anyway, that's the way it goes. So I've learned to live with it.
You know, that's what's so delightful about the two of you, because, you know, you both individually are amazing, but the two of you together, this synergy and that electricity that you two generate. I mean, you walk into a room and people will take notice. And in fact, I was looking at some of the pictures of the event that we events that we were just at. And I get it, Noah, because I saw a lot of pictures of Babette with people. Yeah, like, where's Noah?
Exactly. Yeah, I just read
they were like seeking her out. Yeah, seeking her out. But Babette, okay, so I have to ask you. So delightful to hear from Noah. I mean, he is so much fun to listen to and to enjoy. When he moved and you first met him and that dancing night, what did you think of this self-proclaimed nerd? I mean, I have rights to call you a nerd, right? Because you are a self-proclaimed nerd. Okay. So, yep. Proud of it too. Okay, so what did you think of him?
When I first met Noah, first of all, I love God, and I've collected Noahs all my life. I love that part in the Bible about Noah and the promise. So he gave me a call, and I listened to his voice. I love his voice. And what happened was, when I first met him, he had a purple shirt on. I've never met a guy in a purple shirt, well-dressed. He's always well-dressed.
Stylish dresser. Guys, keep this in mind. I'm giving you tips here. I'm throwing tips. Come on, guys. Let's go.
Yeah, you're giving more service than I even expected. This is great. Okay.
Hey, I'm just trying to help the planet here.
There you go. Okay, so
his when I seen him walk upstairs into the room, it was just like a beautiful light. I mean, honestly, it was just beautiful. The karma, or I'm not karma, but his aura was just beautiful. And then when I was talking to him, and I love walks in the park, and then we walked in the park, and he asked me to go dancing. But what a beautiful gem, because I had gotten all the other guys in my life, right? Mm-hmm. And for the first time, someone actually seen me for who I am. And I was raised by a beautiful mom, and my parents were divorced. I love my dad. I lost him at 25, but my mom is a great example, and she taught us kids to be great examples. And I aligned with Noah. I love his mission because that's how I was raised. And Noah came from a dysfunctional family. I came from a loving family.
We put the fun in dysfunctional.
That's why you make up names for words, right? Okay, got it. All right, we'll go back to that in a moment. But I want to keep this story going. Okay, go ahead.
But I love his mission. I love talking to people. I love meeting them at his events. And it's just beautiful. And then every day is awesome with Noah. And he is a true example. I mean, he's got a system for everything, and it's a proven system. But even when he wakes up, I mean, he dresses fine every day, even though we work from our home. He gets up, he has a little system going on, and, he dresses very nice. It's not his pajamas or a t-shirt or shorts. It's a nice, like he's going out for the day. I respect that, and I love that. And he's a great example for my kids. I have twins that are 32 and a son that's 22, and a great example for my girls on how to treat a woman. I mean, to find a man, I'm sorry. And then for my son, how to treat a woman. And it's just beautiful. So I love our life together. We do have the freedom lifestyle, and that's beautiful. And every day we have an opportunity to work together, and that's a blessing because not many people do. And it's beautiful. I love it. I can listen to Noah 1,000 times. Yeah, me too. And it's just beautiful. I enjoy it.
I want to highlight something you said because it's interesting. I just had a discussion with someone in regards to this. And that was that you can look at working together two ways. It can either really work well, or it can be absolutely the worst decision that they've ever made. And a lot of it, I would think, comes to mindset, common goals, some of the things that you're sharing. And I love the respect piece that you also alluded to, respect of yourself, respect you know, teaching how to be respectful of a woman, how to appreciate a very good gentleman, and all of that. It just seems that it's a full. You guys have just an amazing formula going on, and I want to go into, you know, when you were talking about words, I want affirmations, right? Did I say it right? Your word, your right. Okay, get rid of the trash in your head about money and that whole thing.
So we've got two books we're talking about: the book of Affirmations, which you're mentioning, and then my new book, Get Rid of Your Head Trash About Money, where I also talk about affirmations, my invention. My discovery of affirmations which is how to change the subconscious thought patterns in your brain by using empowering questions. So anyway, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you there, but I just
no, because you know, I want to go back to this thought because it ties in all together, and that is how much do you believe all the work that you do in regards to affirmations and getting rid of the mind trash not only is successful for a business entrepreneur, but also in general life? Because when I was talking to this individual, I felt this sadness come upon me, like, oh, wow, here's an example of something that could get better. Now, you know, like if they had these tools, possibly they would be then sitting together, you know, after doing the work and being the two of you rather than what the conversation I just had. And I'm thinking, man, that there is amazing service, because what is it about life that we want? We want love. We want to go forward. You moved to somewhere you didn't even know existed, almost, you know, to follow your heart, right? And if we can help people to be successful in business, absolutely, I am so for that. But beyond that, what is it that even the successful business people are looking for? They're looking for a successful life, right? And
right.
Am I correct Am I correct in saying that your books are transformational, not only for the entrepreneur, but in life in general, right?
Yes, absolutely. So one of the things that we teach at my company, successclinic.com, is what we call the freedom lifestyle. Because at the end of the day, we humans really just want one thing. We want to be happy. Right. Now, of course, that means different things to different people. Right. Somebody says, well, once I have a new car, then I'll be happy. Once I get this promotion, I'll be happy. Once I lose 10 pounds, I'll be happy. Once I find the right person, I'll be happy. Now, all of those things are great. And, you know, I'm not saying we shouldn't want those things. I'm not saying those things aren't worthy goals to go for. The problem is that sometimes when you get that thing, you're like, shoot, wait, I thought I was going to be happy after I got that thing, and I'm still not happy. What's going on here? And so one of the things we look at Success Clinic is, how can you be happy? How can you actually create the systems so that you can create that happiness as you're building towards your goal? So the idea here is to be a happy person going towards your goal, not when I reach my goal, then I'll be happy. Do you see what I mean? So we're not saying don't go after those things. We're saying absolutely, we humans are goal-oriented organisms. We think about something we want, or we see something we want, and we say, hey, I want to go for that. So that's fine. And we shouldn't change that. That's totally right. However, the problem is when you are, and because I've been there and I know what this is like, when you're an empty person looking to the outside to get filled up, it's almost always going to result in failure or disappointment. Right. So what we like to do is we like to teach systems. And as Babette mentioned a moment ago, my company and I are all about systems that work. Now, what we teach is basically two kinds of systems: inner game systems and outer game systems. Inner game and outer game. Now, your inner game is everything that happens between your ears that you can't see directly, but you see the effects of it everywhere. So those would be things like your beliefs, your thoughts, your desires, priorities. You can't see those things directly, and yet you see the effects of them everywhere. What I often like to say when I'm speaking at conferences, doing keynote speeches, or with my coaching clients, I often say to them, tell me where your beliefs don't affect you. Show me where your beliefs don't show up. And of course, there's no place, right? There's no place your beliefs don't show up. They show up in your finances. They show up in your health. They show up in your relationships, in your social life, in your family life, and well-being, and just everywhere, right? So that's your inner game. Then the outer game is everything you can see directly. So as entrepreneurs, for example, that would be things like your sales funnels, your lead magnet, your autoresponders, all that digital marketing stuff, right? That we all have to do, the blocking and tackling that we entrepreneurs have to do every day. But also, again, your outer life can be things like your general lifestyle, your habits, your daily routine, things like that you can see directly. So the point is, it's only when you master your inner game and your outer game that you have the thing called success. So that's why at our live event that Babette was just alluding to, we have a live event called Freedom Lifestyle Experience. Awesome. So it's a 3-day transformational workshop where I teach you in 3 days how to master your inner game and your outer game, and then put it all together so you can actually live that freedom lifestyle. So you can go to freedomlifex.com and see just some of the incredible success stories that we've had once people learn how to use my systems to master their inner game and outer game. That's freedomlifex.com.
Can I say something real quick?
Please
just
do,
like
Babette.
This. Challenges are every day, right?
Right.
And then also there's things that happen like bam, these challenges that hit you. Either it's health, either it's your kids' health, or it's your family's health, a family member, or a dear friend, right? But with the system, and when you are in line and you have that balance and what Noah's talking about, then you are so aligned that when that does happen and that stuff that you can't control, you have the mindset to be able to say, step back and go, breathe in and breathe out, adjust the situation, right? And then take on your health. And then when you're in balance and homeostasis, then you can attack anything, even when you're ill, right? But then you can mentally have it in place. And that's awesome what Noah teaches with his programs. So
it's not what happens to us, it's our response to what's happened to us.
Right.
Because that's stuff you can't control.
Right. Life is going to happen. It's how we
whether you like it or not.
Right. One last thing before, a couple of things, but one thing that you did say when we were speaking that really also struck a chord, especially in a lot of the people that I am talking with recently, is that so many people that are going after their dream, and they are starting to show up to different events, different places. Maybe they want to be a speaker. Maybe they have a message. They have a life story, and they just need to get that out. What you said really resonated with me, and that was, it's great that they want to get that out, but they're maybe going about it in the wrong, way. Maybe they're not quite ready to do something where they're not going to end up with that $40,000, $60,000, $100,000 of debt, trying to get a message out there that they believe is going to affect the world, right? And you were like, I need to just talk to those people a few moments, and I can change that whole deal, right?
Yeah. Well, what you're talking about here is a combination of what I was just saying, the inner game and outer game. But let me talk about outer game for a second, because one of the things that you're alluding to is in this digital marketing industry, right? Mm-hmm. There's a lot of gurus out there. There's a lot of very successful, what I call self-marketers. They're very, very good at promoting themselves, and that's awesome. And you can't turn on Facebook anymore without seeing some new dude says, hey man, look at my new car. Look at my new shiny object. Aren't I awesome? And it's like, yeah, dude, you're awesome. Have you helped anybody else? Or is it all about your shiny objects? Now, hey, there's nothing wrong with shiny objects. We all want nice things. But my point is, have you helped anybody else? Number one. Number two. So the point is, when you're looking for a mentor, we all need mentors, right? I can trace every quantum leap that I've had in my life and in my business to having the right mentor. I can also trace every lousy thing that happened to getting bad advice from people who just, you know, stole my money basically. And that's not good. So I'm really trying, I'm kind of like the digital marketing cleanup committee here. We're trying to clean up this whole industry, which has got a lot of, you know, things going on. My point is that when you're looking for a mentor, which is really important, I believe, again, to have those quantum leaps, you have to have the right mentor. You should really look for three things. Number one, is that person where you want to be, right? So it's obvious that you want to follow someone who's like, that, you know, reached their pot of gold or the top of the mountain, whatever analogy you want to use, right? So you don't want to be following somebody who's living in a van down by the river, to borrow Chris Farley's phrase. Remember that on Saturday Night Live? Anyway, you can Google that. It's very funny. Anyway, my point is, you don't, but that's the easy part. All right, the easy part is finding someone who says that they're successful. The second point is, have they helped anyone else? Right? As I just said, you can't turn on Facebook anymore without some new dude, but you've got to do your research. And that's the great thing about the internet, is you can do your research in just a few minutes. That's why when you go to our results page on our website, we call it workingwithnoah.com. You can go to workingwithnoah.com. You'll see over 100 real life stories from real people just like you, just like everybody watching this program, who have doubled or tripled their income, who have, you know, published their first books, got their online programs going, also lost weight, found love. I mean, just incredible, incredible real life stories from people just like you. That's the point. You got to do your research. Have they helped anyone else? So in other words, is there a system? If it's only about a personality, then you've got personality-driven success. That's great for that person, but what if you're not that person, right? I paid all these guys all this money, and I found out, that's funny, I'm not you, and you don't have a system, so what? You got nothing, and it's really aggravating, isn't it? And so that's really important. That's the second key. Have they helped anyone else? And then number three, and this is even more important really than the first two, is will they actually help you? Will that mentor actually be there for you and help you? You know, I've been doing this for over 20 years. It's impossible that I could still be here if I hadn't helped anybody, right? It's impossible that I could still be here if I didn't enjoy what I do, which is helping people. I'd rather brag about my students than myself. You know, like I said, there's a lot of, in this industry, there's basically two kinds of people. Look at me and look at us. The look at me guys are everywhere. You can't throw a rock without hitting a look at me guy. Hey, look at me. Woo, aren't I awesome? Yeah, you're awesome, man. We love you. But what good are you? You know, what have you done? What are you going to do for me is what you should be asking. I mean, so yeah, you're great. But that's the thing, is that's really sexy. These guys are awesome at pressing all the buttons in the human brain, which is, you know, you see a shiny object, go, ooh, I want a shiny object. You see that, you know, on there, ooh, I want that. So they're pressing all the buttons because they're really good at it. So, you know, being the nerd that I am, I have to kind of go, okay, let's pull back the curtain. Here's what they're doing to you. All right, here's what they're doing. If you're okay with that, then just let them do it. But if you'd actually like for you to succeed, that's why when you go to workingwithnoah.com, you see the same story over and over and over again. It's the person who had spent all this money. We had one woman, for example, named Susan. She had spent $60,000 on all these other, you know, big names, all the gurus, and she was about to go bankrupt. She was about to lose her home. She was about to lose her marriage. I mean, literally, her husband was going to leave her because he said to her, "You're buying all this self-help stuff. We're not getting better. We're getting worse." You know, so she was at the end of her rope. Anyway, she came to my Freedom Lifestyle event, and I showed her my system. I walked her through Inner Game and Outer Game Mastery. She said, wow, the light bulb went on. And in less than 6 months, she literally went from $60,000 in debt to a 6-figure income. She landed her dream job, and she's just published her first book, which she asked me to write the foreword for because of how I changed her life. My point is, we love stories like that. I'd rather brag about my students than me, just for the very simple reason that I want people to realize that there is help available. There is a system, but you know, you got to look for it, and it may not be where you think.
Well, you know what? You just summed up why I wanted to visit with you guys and have you guys be service heroes, because it's that heart and I have such an affinity for nerds, because being one myself, it takes one to know one, you know. And yes, I also call myself a geek. I'm a geeky nerd, but you know, that's fine. We had that discussion, and I own it. I am good with it, you know. Babette's too
That's
cool
good.
to be a nerd, you know.
She's way too cool. I tell her that every time. I say,
Yeah,
because I'll come up with these references and she'll go, what is that? I go, honey, you're too cool. Don't worry about
you're
it.
Too cool.
You have a life.
Cool.
I'm the extrovert.
I said, you're far too cool to know this crap.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. But, you know, one nerd to another, I get you on that one. Okay, so I want to do this. So send me a book, Noah, right? Send me a book,
Yes.
Noah. Tell me about that, because I had to do that. That's just too cool. Send me a book.
Send me a book, Noah.com. Yeah. So what we have here is my new book called Get Rid of Your Head Trash About Money. The subtitle is How to Avoid the 3 Big Money Mistakes Even Smart People Make. And I know everybody watching this program is very smart, but you may be making one or more of these mistakes without even knowing it. So all I have to do is go to sendmeabooknoah.com and we will send you this book for free. Now you can download the digital version for free. If you want to get the hard copy in your hand, which I really like, because of course you can mark it up and, you know, circle things and highlight things. So I love the physical version. If you want the hard copy, we just ask you to cover the shipping. I've covered the cost of the book. All right. But if you just cover the cost of shipping, we ship it anywhere on planet Earth. So just go to sendmeabooknoah.com and we will be happy to send you your copy of Get Rid of Your Head Trash About Money.
Awesome.
For free.
I'm going to get one of those hard because I'm one of those ones that, you know, color pencils, and each color pencil has a reason for that color. And I mean, and
we just updated this book, by the way. This is newly updated. So everybody watching this program will get the brand new version that just came out literally like 2 weeks ago. So It's a great, your timing is perfect. This is a new updated edition of Get Rid of Your Head Trash About Money.
But
all right. Well,
I have to say something real quick.
Yes, go ahead.
Real quick. Like we met several people this past weekend before the event. And they were showing us Noah, you know, they wanted to meet Noah and, you know, have him sign their book. And it was awesome. And they have it all like written in.
Sticky notes and stuff. It was great.
And they had all 3 of his books. So it was just, that is so enjoyable to meet the people and hear their story of how Noah has affected them. And it's just beautiful. It's beautiful. It's nice it's an honor to be a part of that.
Well, I plan on being one of those people at some point in time, because I mean, I just love everything about the 2 of you. I love everything about how you are able to boil down your systems in ways that are obtainable and understandable and trackable and, you know, all of that good stuff. And yet have a heart to it, you know, that, and you, I could talk to you guys for hours. I really seriously could. But, you know, is there anything that you guys would like to end this with? Because I want to give an opportunity for you to do any shout outs, any come and see us, any of that kind of stuff, because I'm sure people are going to get your pencils and your paper ready now. Okay, go.
Okay, real quick. No matter how old you are, we have teens, we have older people, you know, senior citizens, that every person, Noah and the team, love as his children. So we take great care of you, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful mission.
And I'll just say something. Thank you. That's a great point. I can trace every quantum leap that I've made. Number one, to finding the right mentor, but also going to live events. There really is no substitute to being at a live event. And Tamara, I know you can speak to that. So we really want to invite all of you to go to freedomlifex.com right now. If you sign up before the end of the month, we're in our mega early bird phase. So number one, you save $700 off your ticket price. But even better is you can bring a friend for free. So you're literally saving over $1,500 as long as you sign up by the end of the month at freedomlifex.com. We will show you, I will walk you through how to master your inner game so you can get rid of your head trash about money, how to master your outer game so you can have your automated sales machine going 24/7 so you can make money while you sleep, and how to live that freedom lifestyle mastery so you can actually live that freedom lifestyle that we all desire as entrepreneurs. It is a step-by-step system. I will hand it to you. By the way, this is not a multi-speaker event. It's just me for 3 days at freedomlifex.com. So if you enjoy this, You're going to get 3 days of it. If you don't like it, you probably shouldn't come. But if you do like it, we'd love to have you there in Vegas. Our next event, and it's just the dates, are November 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. freedomlifex.com. Are you coming, Tamara? Is that why you're raising your hand?
Well, I'm actually raising my hand because I'm definitely going to do everything I can to be there. But I have a question. You said is Babette going to be there too? Because you said that you get me. Well, I mean, if I was going, I'd want both of you.
Well, of course. What I was saying is that it's not one of those multi-speaker events where everybody's, getting on there and selling you stuff. So I mean, of course she'll be there. So she is giving the love. So she is our customer success manager. All right. So we call it our customer success or our client success manager. And she's also one of my Power Habits coaches. She's the director of my Power Habits coaching. So you get, she'll be really in the room there, kind of helping you basically implement and do all the things that I'm going to be teaching you from the front of the room. So we've got the front and the back taken, and we're going to just take great care of everybody that shows up. We'll take great care of you.
I have no doubt in my mind, and I want to recognize Donald, who said hello. Hello, Donald.
Hey, Donald.
Hey, Donald.
And so thank you both. Thank you. And what we will do for anybody that didn't have an opportunity to grab that pencil and paper, we will put in the comment line all the links and everything, so you can get that book and you can sign up before with the early bird special and all of that. You guys are awesome. I love you both. I just really seriously do. You are so much fun and have such a great message. And the two of you, you're just cracking me up,
Well, we can't wait to see you in Vegas. We can have more fun.
Yeah, there you go, baby. Vegas, baby. Okay. All right. Hey, well, baby. Yes. Okay. We have just wrapped up day number 55 of 365 days of awesome. Celebrate success through service. And we have just honored our hero duo, Noah and Babette St. John. Thank you for your service. Thank you for all that you do for everyone. I just adore you both. And I will be back tomorrow with more fun. See you later. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.